If you guys actually want to learn how to improve your building skills outside of Roblox Studio and check out some other building games so that you can improve and enhance your abilities to improve your building, which can be outside of Roblox Studio, then this video is actually right for you. So yo, what is going on everybody, it's iiAlexP here, and today we're back with another video. So today I'm going to be showing you guys the top 7 building games in Roblox. So I'm going to be listing the top 7 right now, but before we get it started, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I want you guys to be active so that I can start uploading more often, and as well, I'm actually thinking about doing the same procedures as always, but however, I'm actually willing to actually start uploading around 9 a.m. Central Time, because that's where most of you guys usually tend to be active more often, I believe. So I'm gonna keep track on all that and be more consistent with what I'm willing to upload. And yeah, so let's try if we can hit 15 likes onto this video, and let's try and leave a like and subscribe and turn on post notifications on for more videos. And yeah guys, let's get right into this video and get it started. Counting on number 7.
Number 7 is actually Welcome to Roblox Building. As you can see, this is actually really good. So there's actually certain features, basically like stamper tool, delete tool. So basically I have sets from basic building all the way to wiring. This is basically almost as similar to basically like the personal building server tools in regards. So it even has, its own speakers, on exposure, character rotation, and as well you could even add some specific changes into your props, your builds. It's basically like rotating it. You could even stylize it, save it, and you can even overwrite them and add some changes to it. So like once after you leave, you could just save it. You could even buy another slave slot with 375 Robux. And you could even stylize it, change the color of the base plate if you want more materials. I think it costs Robux as well. But you can change however you guys want it to be. I guess I might just want to change it to green because, like, why not? But I mean, yeah. So when it comes to actually getting in touch with those tools inside the Welcome to Roblox building, it is actually really good. So it kind of brings back, those, sets, those buildings. It just gives me kind of a bit of a sense of nostalgia ever since I started getting in touch with this, because it was created like a long time ago. But so basically, this is actually rewritten, I believe. So yeah, this was all the way back a long time ago. So I mean, yeah. But if you guys want to check this one out, link in the description below. And yeah, so there's even wiring settings. You can even rotate all your things. And yeah, so I mean, I highly recommend you guys check this out and see what's up with it. So basically, you could even add some specific changes. It's basically a little bit different because you can even use the basically almost as the same materials as when it comes to the ones from Studio Tools or F3X Tools. So basically, as you can see, there's actually wooden planks. So I kind of highly recommend you guys check this out. The only thing I don't like is that you don't really get to build with friends, but this is just a bit of a refresher, I guess, a bit of the muscle memory. So I highly recommend you guys to actually check it out. It actually looks really good. I would actually rate this server basically like a 7.5 out of 10 because it's basically almost the same tools as of personal building server tools, but at least the developers get to make a bunch of like slight modifications, as you can see. And I'm not gonna lie, this building right here looks really cool. And I mean, yeah. So I'll see you guys into the next game slash server slash experience. So as of now, for the Welcome to Roblox building, the pros are many building slots, cloud save, change the color of the base plate, modified tools, and a more nostalgic look. Onto the cons, we don't really have anyone else to build with. It takes a lot of more time to build part by part, and builds and parts can as well be unanchored, as you can see from a previous clip that I have to delete it and replace it.
Counting on number 6.
All right, so for number 6 is actually Sandbox. So Sandbox is actually a really good server because you can actually make your own unique types of builds. And you could even start making other kinds of builds that are, you know, a little bit more unique, more that you want, that you actually wish to add. So you could even change like the color of the textures and all that. But as of now, just let me explain to you guys about the server, and then later I'll spare you the details on what you're actually supposed to do. But it's actually a pretty cool server because it's basically like as if you were to make your own sets inside Sandbox. So you could even, you know, scale them, and you could even do this and that. I highly prefer this over Welcome to Roblox Building because you could even scale it, and you could even try and do specific kinds of uh, unique perspectives when it comes to Sandbox. So you could even take shortcuts. You could even start, you know, making it a little more faster than how you build uh, inside inside Welcome to Roblox Building or personal building server tools, regardless of high scalability. But I really like it. Highly recommend you actually check it out. And yeah. So what I really like about this is that you can even add your own unique types of buildings. So basically, as if it's like sets, basically related to as if it's like personal building server tools or tools that are basically onto Welcome to Roblox Building. You can even add money. You can even add movement, outdoor. So it's basically almost similar, as you can see. Tickets pile, RIP ticks. So you can even dive deeper into what you wish to have. And I mean, I'm actually not gonna lie. It actually looks pretty good. So I mean, you can go to basic building parts, scroll all the way down. You can see the unique details, Christmas, Halloween, etc. Not, I'd say like all the resources there is a bit limited. I think you could do like as many really cool features as you can see. I think like right close to me, there's like a baseball stadium. So I mean, it's actually not as bad. But you could even also stand and fall. I thought it would be some sort of tool, but it really isn't. If you actually want to dive deeper into building this, I highly recommend you guys actually mess around with it. They even have its own unique VIP store and all that. But first, I'll spare you the details on that later. But as you can see, you can even rotate all your things when it comes to the base plate. So if you rotate it to 180, it moves it there. If it goes to 90, it goes there. 180, the block moves there. So I mean, you can rotate the building or the block however you actually want. And as well with the VIP, it even has its own specific VIP rank. Basically, we basically have nothing in there. You can even color building tool, super, basic NPC block. So I mean, I highly recommend you guys actually buy these. It actually looks really cool. When it comes to VIP ranks, you can even upgrade it to super. And if you have a super, you have an NPC block, conveyor belt, and data space. And then mega, it's a lot more. I heard that if you really get the mega or the ultra, you actually have Dragon Balls, a warp movement, 2000 of data space, 2000k data space. It's basically a lot. So I mean, yeah. Files. You can even make your own files. You can even create them so that you can save all your things, your progress, and all your builds. So whenever you're actually done, I highly recommend you guys actually save it from there. And I mean, yeah. If you guys want to, you know, try and feel free to mess around with it, I highly recommend you guys to actually mess around with it and give it a try. Maybe you might learn a lot more things than I have. And I mean, yeah, you could even change, you know, the base play and all that, but I believe you could do that when you're VIP, I think. I don't think so, right? I think that's something you guys might have to find out yourselves. But I highly recommend you guys actually check the server out. It's pretty good. And yeah, so I'll see you guys right into the next server. Alright, so for the pros and cons for Sandbox is that for the pros, there are actually more unique features. You could actually rotate your base plate however you guys want it to be. There are many slots for you to save your builds. And this also means that it even includes a save file. On to the cons, it's actually a bit kind of harder to use and navigate. And basically, I believe that you don't really have anyone else to build with because I never tried this before, but I have friends that have done this before, and I believe that it's kind of hard to get used to it at first, but at some point you will actually get the hang of it. So, yeah, so we'll see how that's gonna go.
Counting on number 5.
So the number 5 is actually Build World. As you can see, this actually looks really cool. I really like how the servers really look. Basic building, terrain. Okay, about this basically gives a lot of nostalgia because those are like personal building server tools that were basically from the textures of 2014. As you can see, if you guys have been around there for a long time, you guys would know about this. And there's even a holiday kit. So there's basically stuff that are basically related. There isn't really enough sets because more of those sets they're basically here. So there's sets, tools, templates. You can even buy a template from those points. So I mean that's why you only start off with the base plate, with the single base plate. But if you wish to expand it, it's 2,000, and the player limit that's different. The build, anchor tool, templates, upgrades, and hats. I think, yeah, I believe so. Work in progress, melee. Oh my gosh, man, those are like worth a lot. Dark hearts a lot. Ranged explosives. I think they're working onto that too. Musical. Oh yeah, right. And transport. That's like gravity coil, speed coil. So I mean, you could try and dive deeper more into that. You could even make your own water. I'm kind of jealous because of that because in other personal servers we haven't really worked on it yet, or they haven't worked on it yet. You can even change the wedge, the corner wedge, and etc. So you could try and dive into a lot of details. Those are basically the old Roblox personal building server textures in 2014. But if you wish to dive deeper into this, I highly recommend you guys to play it. What I really love about this is that you can even build it with your friends and your buddies. I believe that you could even scale the blocks as well. So this is basically almost as personal service, but compared it to personal service, it actually looks alright. But you can actually build it with your friends and all that. So yeah, my personal feedback, my only complaint is that I wish I get to add more content in this server. And I understand that they don't really have enough to add or enough resources that they need to produce more content. But I wish I could actually produce more content. What I really like about this is that you can even scale them. You could even add some options. You could even use the wiring tool, somewhat basically similar to as personal building server tools or from the ones from Whimsical Building. Unfortunately, you can't really use any specific builds as like personal building server tools. So yeah, so it's actually pretty good. I highly recommend you guys to actually check this out. Link will be in the description below. And I mean, yeah, I'll see you guys into the next server. All right, on to the fifth one, which is actually Build World. The pros are actually that you could actually build with friends. It is actually quite a bit quick to build, and it even has its own terrain feature. And there are more server slots to make, so you can make as many servers as you want. However, you're gonna have to actually buy the in-game currency in order to make new servers. And it even has its own tutorial, which I've actually showed it to you guys in the clip. For the cons, it's I believe it's kind of a lot because it just doesn't have enough builds in the stamper tool. It has more accessories and builds that must be bought from credit, so you actually have to use all the in-game currency to actually buy for new accessories, as you can see from the clip that I've showed you. And it just doesn't have enough tools to work. Like it just doesn't have enough features on what it has inside the stamper tools. It doesn't have a lot. It just isn't really enough. Um, and and another one is just like the terrain. It glitches. It glitches out. I remember back in those days when making your own personal building server, it glitches. It happens. It's normal. It happens to most personal building servers, but when it comes to this server, I feel like it's just a little bit rarer to see a big huge glitch inside the terrain. So, I don't know. That's the reason I put this on number 5.
Counting on number 4.
All right, so for number 4 is actually PBS Tool Test 2. So PBS Tool Test 2 is actually a pretty decent server. I know if you guys, I haven't really been shutting up on talking about this server, but as you can see, it is actually pretty nice when it comes to this server because you basically have the ability to actually get along with people and actually build with people. However, there are some pros and cons when it comes to this and that, but I'll spare you all the details on that later. Because normally I'm going to be saying all the pros and cons. But as you can see, I feel like when it comes to this compared to Build World, in my opinion, I believe that this is actually much better than Build World because you don't really have to pay for materials. You don't even have to buy for textures. You don't have to buy for anything that of specific. As you can see. So, I mean, yeah. What I really like about this is they even have some unique features. But what I don't really like is that it doesn't have its own save. So it doesn't really autosave when you build. However, you could actually make that happen. Because I know that in some of the things that I've actually told you, I remember I told you that I once had a personal building server. I have a server that can basically autosave whenever you leave. And it stores all your builds. So you don't really have to just be building inside of Roblox Studio. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of like it better than just building a Roblox studio because I feel like I could have everyone else pretty much be welcomed, to join my server. I know I've had a few subscribers check out my personal building server, and I feel like they seem pretty impressed. All right, so here are actually the features. So they basically start off with advanced building, landscaping, has interior kit, gameplay. I know I'm actually rushing the details, but as you can see, you could actually change any team you want. So you could actually add teams with the gameplay sections. So, I mean, you could actually go to whichever team you actually wish to go to. What I don't like is the fact that there's like glitches when it comes to these textures. So, I mean, that's my only complaint that I'm actually having, and that's what I don't like. There's even gears, so you could actually blow up certain things. And I mean, you could even super ball it, you could paintball it, time bomb it. So, I mean, you could do whatever you want. What I don't like and what's weird is that if you were to place a bomb, I'm not sure if it actually would stick it in. I think so, right? Yeah, so basically like that. It kind of works like that. And I think there's someone in here. So, yeah, so I think he's probably going to hate me because of this. But as you can see, you could basically add C4s. So, I mean, which could actually build up some stuff. You could even add some Christmas decorations, holiday decorations inside the holiday set. And you could even add some pumpkins inside a holiday set. You could even make your own spaceship as well. I remember I had a friend of mine used to make a really big, cool helicopter. And as well, if you sit down the toilet, it even changes your face. You can even go through specific doors. As well, there's actually this friend thing that is actually from Roblox Building. You could even add a magic ball, which is almost the same as the ones from wiring, the energy button. And you could even go to experimental. So you can actually try adding some C4 explosives, which they actually explode a bunch of things that are actually unanchored. For example, as like those windows that are actually there, you could actually blow things like that up. So as you can see, at some point you'll probably later on see it. But if you're to blow them up, it actually causes a bit of the server to lag, and it actually messes up the terrain as well. So I mean, it feels unique in order for this to happen, and yeah. So more details will be once you get into the game. So you can try checking the server out and mess around with it. And I'm not gonna lie, this guy kind of hates me, so I'm sorry about that. But as you can see, this isn't really safe, so I don't see why he would do it regardless of it. So yeah. So I'll see you guys into the next one, which is actually number 3. So for the pros and cons for number 4, which is actually PBS Tool Test 2, starting with the pros is that you actually get to have the opportunity to play and build with your friends. You can free build and you can actually mess around with the tools, so you can actually do whatever you want. And it is actually faster and quick to build. It even has this terrain feature. So it has a pretty basic, unique terrain feature with the 1011 textures. And it is actually really good to test it out before you actually start running your own personal server. I'm actually planning to want to make my own personal server and actually show you guys how to actually make one, which is actually going to be coming soon. And for the cons, um, it actually just doesn't save because it just loses all your progress and all that. So, I mean, if you just want to build for fun and just mess around with the builds and learn how to use PBS tools, then I really highly recommend you guys to play it. I don't really want you guys to waste your time and do all that hard work, and then when you leave and rejoin, I don't want you just to be like, where are my bills? Where are my bills? Why are they gone? Another thing is the terrain glitch. So it doesn't really happen as often when it comes to actually to this server because I believe that they have different features than it has compared to Build World. And as well, the other one, lastly, is griefers. So I mean, to be honest, in my opinion, when it comes to griefers, it wouldn't really matter as much to me. In regards if it has to be if the server actually saves automatically or if it doesn't. So it wouldn't really be as much of a big deal. But if you guys would want to take your building very seriously, then I guess it might be a problem for you guys. But however, since the server doesn't really save as much, in my opinion, I just feel like it wouldn't be as much of a big of a deal. But the reason I put this on cons is just for you guys, in case if you guys get so bothered by griefers. So I mean, as you can see, you saw me a clip of me griefing. That is not really how. That's really how it would actually bug people, in regards to building. So yeah.
Counting on number three. Alright, so for number three is actually Blockade. So Blockade is actually really interesting. The reason I actually put this in number three is because I really like how there's actually more places to check out. It's basically like the big world, basically like Roblox ish. Which it actually is Roblox, but it's just a big expanded area where you get to actually publish your own places. And what I really like about this is that when it comes to Block 8, it says well related to personal building servers and actually Build World. But I really like this more than Build World because it has a big variety and a lot of things to add. I was actually close to actually not having this into number three because somehow Blockate wasn't really working and it had a bit of a problem as you can see from the picture that I'm showing you right now. Unfortunately, I couldn't really create my new world, so for as of now, you could actually create your own world. So to create a world, I already created mine, but if you want to create the second world, it actually costs 500 bucks or blocks and a group reward. So if by joining the group, you actually get to have the opportunity to actually create another world. I highly recommend you guys if you guys wish to create your another world. I highly recommend you guys to actually join the group. And as well to create a new world. The first world is actually for free. And if it doesn't work, then I mean I don't know. It even happened to me as well. But yeah, but you guys should just go check some few worlds out. You can even create your own world. And yeah, so let's try and check it out and join. So, I'm joining right now, and let's see how it's actually gonna go because, yeah, it looks all green because I was just messing around with this. But as you can see from the sign, welcome to this new Blockade world. Press Q to start building. So you could always use Q. You could delete. If you go here, there's just more quick access. Paint, I think you might have to just select it a little bit like that. You can have some shortcuts. So what I really like about this is this kind of gives a little bit into small details, so we don't have to dive more deeper into detail whenever it comes to personal building server tools. So instead, it even explains what the transparency is, reflectance, can't collide, light. You guys might probably know what this is from other videos that I've actually explained. For example, like the how to make city videos and all that. So you guys might probably know what that is. If not, you could try and mess around with these and understand it more. It's okay if you guys are new to this because I've been through those back in those days. And I mean, yeah, so as you can see, you could even start painting everything. I guess probably like if you're gonna have it into a grass, I guess into like a grassy shape, and have it, I guess, have it green, and then you can just paint everything all around like this and that. You can even make a really cool pixel art. But I really like it. I remember it's kind of reminds me of the old Minecraft days when I used to do a bit of pixel art a long, long time ago when I was a kid. So I mean, yeah. So what I like about this, it even has a lot of things in the menu. You can even have a lot of people build with you. So for example, world menu, This is where you actually add some of the changes. You could even change the thumbnail. I think that's for like the decal ID. That's what I can infer. And commands, visitor, builder. You could even give people the builder rank. So this is basically like when it comes to a bit like personal servers, but I actually like this. But I'm not gonna lie, if you're the owner of this, this is basically you basically have all the rules. You can even check out other people's servers, and I'm not gonna lie, this actually looks really cool. When it comes to Blockate. So you can even change as much as you want. You could actually give people perms. You could even give people the ability to build. You could even say have your own logs. So you could actually just detect whether if anyone's actually abusing or griefing in your server. The thing is, I never really liked about it. It's just that it looks so blocky. Like I just wish I have the opportunity to make it feel like it's realistic. But regardless of it, I really like this server. I highly recommend you guys check this out.
And yeah. So for the pros and cons for number 3, which is actually Blockate, is that starting off with the pros, you actually get to visit many servers as you'd like. So it's basically a little bit like Roblox in general, like I just said. So you can just visit as many servers as you want. It even has a unique set of tools. And you get to build with your friends. You even have your own saving slots, so you can make as many servers as you want. However, it actually costs blocks in order to actually make your own new slot, new quantity of builds. But you could actually add a free bonus server by joining the group. So that is actually another thing. Blockade really gives you a lot of opportunities. And as well, even get to have your own rules, because in regards, if you were to actually make your own Blockade, you basically have your own rules. You can do what you want with it. You could actually even have your own admin, so you can do what you actually want with your own server when it comes to Blockade, and I really like it. So I mean, I highly recommend you guys to actually check it out. Now on to the cons. It is a little bit difficult to navigate. It's a little bit hard to get the hang of, because I don't know, it's just there's a lot of details and a lot of this and that. I remember like I've used to go into Blockade with the boys, and I remember back in the day you could actually change the water, which was actually blue. You could actually turn it to the color of red, so which is actually pretty fascinating. But I don't know how to do that. But if you want to dive deeper more into that, I highly recommend you guys to actually dive deeper into the command section, because in the command section, I believe there's a lot of stuff going around. They even have a unique set of features. And another thing that's part of the cons, it's not really too fast to build. And what I mean by that is basically like how I said into the Welcome to Roblox building pros and cons. You're just gonna be building part by part. So you're not just gonna be going like hold C just to build really fast, or just scale them how you do in personal building server tools, or with FDX tools. You know what I mean, or with studio tools. So it's not really like that. So I mean, yeah.
Counting on number 2. All right, so as you can see, I kind of like this server, not gonna lie. So I would actually never expect this to be kind of a Christmas theme. So this they have like certain portals. I think this is for like something that's a little bit normal. So if you were to just check it out here, it's just all a bit of a kind of a small base plate. So you could just build whichever you wish to go. You could actually build it inside a some random island. But whatever you like about this is that you don't really get to like mess around people's builds. You could even make a really cool car. I don't know how that you would actually make a really cool car like that. Might probably make one like that one day. You would even make Thomas a train. I think that's with the mesh tool, I believe. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? So what I really like about this, there's basically certain tools. There's actually building tools. Gap align. Where it even is. Okay, yeah, you gotta add. Gap align. Takes it to something like that. I think it would just show you like the only gate entrance, I believe. Normal, negative. You could even make some sort of door, which is kind of a quick start. I remember they had resize align, but I'm afraid they removed it. Because I remember it couldn't work. I had a footage of it, but it couldn't work. You can even teleport whichever you want to go. And as well, you could try and use the arc tool. This is basically a little bit like Archimedes. A little bit. So if you were to execute most of these, kind of form something. It's based off a circle. It's a little bit like Archimedes. But I mean, yeah, so this basically kind of looks like Archimedes. There's even a config. I actually never tried this out. I think that's if you're like to form something. Properties enabled, no. I don't know how this works. Never really tried this out. Specific rules. So you can't really exploit troll or grief. You can't really annoy people. Ban evasion, building and imports. So just don't steal any builds. Language chat, advertising, mesh kits, building respawn, large builds. And if you're actually banned, you might have to go for the appeal. So before you actually dive deeper more into that, highly recommend you guys actually dive deeper more into the rules. And I mean, yeah. So what do you guys think about this boat? We can't really write on it yet. I'll probably write on it later. We'll see. And yeah, so I'll see you guys into the next and final part of the video.
Alright, now on to the second pros and cons, which is actually Whimsical Building. So starting off with the pros is that you basically have more quality tools, which this includes builds like F3X tools, gap fill, resize align. I know I haven't really recorded resize align, but it was really confusing, but it never even shows the outlines, if you know what I'm talking about. It has many areas to build. So as what I mean by many areas is that you see those portals that I've showed you in the video, so you can go and build wherever you want. And as well, the other one is actually that it prevents griefing and ruining builds. So you basically are gonna actually build it by yourself, which is, I guess, it's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm not sure if you actually would get to build with someone, but I believe that it actually prevents griefing. So basically, you can't really delete people's builds. You can't do anything like that. You only will have to delete your own build. And what I really like about this is that you could even save your own slots. You could even save all your files and all that. You could even import them into Studio with the plugin that I've showed, or with some FTX import plugin, which you'll see later on into the first and last. You know what I'm talking about, for the first, the top one of the server. And then right now onto the cons is, I mean, yeah. There are actually basically strict rules to follow. I know everyone hates rules, but the bright side is that you don't get to do them. So, in regards to rules, there are a lot of strict rules that you must follow. I wouldn't say they're as strict, but as long as you're doing things right. So before you get into building, you would always have to read the rules. And because there are actually other kinds of people who would abuse FTX tools, like when people would actually cause the game to lag, as always. So basically, they would have to ban you. And if you're going to have to get banned, maybe you might have to go for a ban appeal and all that. And the other one is you get to build it all by yourself. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I love building with people. Building with people is actually something I really love. But if you actually love to build by yourself, always feel free. That's in my opinion in regards to the pros and cons. I really love building with friends because it's just something that's like we're working together, right? So I really love building with people. It's actually really fun.
So yeah, I'll see you guys right there. Counting on number one.
All right, so for number one is actually your own server. So the reason I actually chose your own server is that you basically have like all the rules and the necessities you have. So you could just have full control over your own server to build. The thing is, there's a little bit of the good and bad advantages and disadvantages when it comes to building inside your own server. So I'm just going to be starting to add building tools. Don't just look them up in the models because most of them aren't really real. So the real personal building server tools are basically in the link in the description below. Has been owned by Gigs. And as well, you're going to be using this plugin where you actually import all the builds that you have, which is actually going to be in the link description below. There's actually building tools by F3X. But before you actually do that, there's a lot of things to get ahead of. But this is really good when it comes to importing your builds from the server, and you can transfer them all the way to here. This works to other certain servers like Whimsical Building or any PBS building server tools, as long as they have HTTP request on. So first things first, I just gotta first publish my game. First publish your game before you do it. So I'm just gonna be naming F3X Building Hangout. Just create it. See how it's actually gonna work. It's probably just gonna take a while. So basically a little bit of a tutorial video. So if you go to game settings, you're gonna have to go to, I think you're gonna have to go to security. I don't know why I'm like this. So first you're just gonna have to go to security. Allow HTTP requests in order to make it work, in order to have your builds transferred to here. And yeah, so allow all the HTTP requests, enable everything, enable studio access. I mean, you can enable everything just in case. I'm just going to start doing that just in case. Allow third-party developers is only mainly going to be used for personal building servers. And I mean, yeah, so you can just import whatever you want. And I'm going to be showing you guys how this actually works. So I'm just going to publish this to Roblox. And yeah, so it's not really letting me cancel for some reason. I think if I were to click import, allow, I'm just gonna allow it. Might want to have to allow it. Couldn't get off your creation. Just press O. Just press import just to get out of it, close it out. It still works, not a scam. And yeah, so I'll show you guys how this actually works. But this is actually the basics. And yeah. Alright, so now that we already published the server, we're just going to get on, and I feel like everything is just all empty. You can have it as if it's any kind of template it is. So we just got the building tools, and we're just going to see how it actually goes. So it's already published, it's already everything under control. What you should do is just try and mess around how this works. Try and build whatever you want. You can actually publish all the stuff that you want in here, one way or another. So I mean, yeah, so you can actually just build what you want, mess around with it, and I'll catch you right there into the next clip. Well, I guess the next part, because I'm not just gonna just make you guys wait for a while until this happens, so I'm just not gonna build a whole thing. But let me try and finish this building first, and then I'll show you how to actually publish this to Roblox Studio. So yeah. Alright, so let me try it and actually finish this building. It's probably going to take around like 2 minutes or so. Well, I don't know. Will it take 2 minutes? So let me try it and finish this building really quick. It's actually not as perfect, but it's actually alright. So let me try and finish this building. And I guess that's it. It doesn't really have to be perfect because I'm actually building on a server. I'm kind of building on a MacBook, so yeah. So what you're gonna actually start doing, first things first, I highly recommend, hold up.
A few moments later.
Okay, so first things first, I highly recommend you actually select all of them. So select all of them and group it. And what you're gonna actually start doing is, if you see this, well, let me undo it. What you see, you can go to export, shift plus B, that's actually the shortcut. And what you're gonna see is the creation ID. So you're just gonna have to copy and paste everything into the Roblox code. So what you're gonna have to do is go back to Studio. So what you're gonna actually start doing is go to your own server, to where you put the HTTP request and the plugin and all that, and where you put the building tools at. Because it really does need to have HTTP requests on. So what you're going to do is go to Building Tools by F3X, and you're going to put the creations ID here. So you're just going to probably copy and paste it. So it's kind of short. And that is actually it. So it actually says BT export because you basically exported them off of those F3X building tools. So, I mean, yeah, so it actually looks kind of interesting. And I really would love to dive more deeper into this. So yeah, so that is basically it. But first things first, yeah, just leave. You can leave experience, and you could just save and publish the build. So let's just publish it to Roblox, and then we could just save it. So yeah, so that is actually it for one last final time, and yeah, so that is actually it. All right, now into the last and final one for the pros and cons, which is number one, which is actually your own server. Is that in the pros, you basically have all the rules. You have all the things that you can do. You basically have high authority. You could actually import your builds to Studio, like I've actually demonstrated to you guys. You can do with what you want. You can even build with your friends. You can actually build by yourself. You can actually do what you want. You basically have high authority onto the server and what you want. You could even join other people's server and build with them. But when it comes to your own server, you can do what you want. You can do whatever you want. You know, you basically have all the freedom you want. You gotta set up all the rules. And for the cons, I mean, it depends. It depends. If you want people to build with you, you always have to be careful on who you trust, in regards to what they do, because there's often people who would grief in your server, who would, make your server cause a lot of lag, who would griefers, and you know what I mean. So always be careful for those kinds of people. And another one is that it just doesn't really autosave when you leave. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the personal building server. But however, that is something we don't really have to worry about because we basically got the import builds to studio. However, auto saving, I could probably show you guys how to actually make that work later on in the future of my videos. Like I've already said, I'm not sure if you guys actually would want me to make a video like that someday. But if you guys want me to, just hit me up, comment down below, or you could just shoot me a DM on Discord and comment down below in the community tab when I make a post something like this. So I mean, yeah. So that's basically it. So yeah.
Alright guys, so that is actually it for the video. I really hope those top 7 building games actually worked out well for you. Let me know in the comment section below if those games that you checked out are really interesting, because in my opinion those games are really interesting to check out. Some games are actually, nostalgic. Think of like the Welcome to Roblox Building. That actually was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, the rest of the games are actually very amazing. I highly recommend you guys to go check them out. And yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.